Los Angeles Dodger Stadium, it's the Detroit Tigers against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And welcome everyone to Dodger Stadium. Dick Stockton along with Jose Mota, and we have two hot teams going at it today as the Tigers, who are one game out in the American League Central, going against the Dodgers, tied for first in a flat-footed duel with San Diego in the NL West. And the Dodgers have won 11 of their last 12 games, including the opener of the series last night.
What a month of May for these Dodgers, 15-4, and Joe Torre has been around the game a long time. He understands that in order to swing things around, you need to pitch well. They have pitched oh so well, and today they have a youngster who has been quite a surprise in John Eli. Not afraid of contact, excellent command, and now standing off-speed pitches. Now, his challenges for the Tigers are a young Brandon Bosch. Boy, this man can hit. And also the veteran Miguel Cabrera leading the league in RBIs, and also a great hitter away from Comerica Park.
And Jose, for the Tigers, Armando Galarraga trying to regain his form of 2 years ago. So LA is the scene. Tigers and Dodgers are the game. The native Californian, 76 years old, managed the Tigers for 17 years, won a world championship with them, and 2 with Cincinnati. And right now, the starting lineup for the Tigers is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Johnny Damon will lead off in center field. Ramon Santiago will be at second base. Maglio Ordonez will be in right. Miguel Cabrera hitting cleanup at first. Brendan Bosch will be in left field, batting fifth. Brandon Inge will be at third base. Gerald Laird behind the plate. Adam Everett at shortstop, and Armando Galarraga on the mound. And this game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. The beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. And the first pitch of the game to Johnny Damon is a called strike. Damon hitting .290 with 3 homers and 17 runs batted in. Sat out last night and fouls off the pitch. And quickly, the count, no balls and 2 strikes. So there's Johnny Damon, who was signed as a free agent former Yankee, wanted to stay with the Pinstripes, but he's very happy playing for the Tigers in his first season with Detroit.
He brought a great presence to this lineup because he's a guy that keeps things loose. He is a power threat at times. More than anything, he'll give you a good at bat.
1 ball and 2 strikes from John Eli. And you talked about Eli in 25 2/3 innings. He has walked only 3 batters. So Eli in 3 consecutive starts has not walked a batter. And Damon hits it in the air. Late start for Matt Kemp coming on in and making the catch. And you wonder about the sun at this time of the day. And Kemp managed to make the play. John Eli, 2-1, a right-hander from Homewood, Illinois, making his 4th start of the year. And look at those bases on balls.
He has a great feel for pitching, a plus changeup, excellent control, and as you mentioned already, he's not afraid of contact. It's remarkable to have those types of attributes for a young pitcher.
He threw first pitch strikes to 20 of the 25 hitters in his victory over the Astros on Monday. He went 7 innings, struck out 8. He has won his last 2 starts, facing Ramon Santiago, the second baseman, the veteran switch hitter, hitting .241 with 7 RBIs. That pitch missing inside, and it's 2-1.
If you take away the first start he had over at Citi Field in New York, windy day, cold day, and he still went through 6 innings, a little shaky, but still, you know what, you take that away, and he has been perhaps their best pitcher.
Well, Eli is really a godsend to this Dodger rotation that was struggling. Remember, Vicente Padilla went on the disabled list. He was the opening day starter for the Dodgers. And this 24-year-old has a lot of poise. There's the breaking ball, and it's up high, and the count is full 3-2. In his last outing against the Astros, he went to a 3-ball count on only 5 hitters.
A little bit of a throwback, that slow 12-6 curveball.
Payoff pitch, and Santiago rips a base hit to right center field, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Santiago will go into second base and stop there with a 2-bagger. And the ball getting away in the outfield, and now going to third is Santiago. So it'll be a double and an error, we're sure, and Santiago will be at third with 1 out.
One thing needs to happen, he needs to pitch down in the zone more, but also on the play in center field. Matt Kemp is shaded over to left center field, and here's where the problem occurs. With a throw coming in, you got to hit somebody there. That's a free base.
And that is the 3rd error for Matt Kemp this season. So with a runner at 3rd and 1 out, here's Maglio Ordonez. Dangerous hitter, takes a fastball inside. Ordonez hitting .311 with 5 homers and 27 runs batted in. And one of the outstanding interleague play hitters in baseball. Fastball for a strike.
Ordonez was telling me before the game that it seems like everybody we see nowadays is throwing 95 plus. So I said, what are you going to try to do here against Eli? He goes, a welcome sight. Stay back.
Runner at 3rd, 1 out, and a ball hit over the middle, and that will get the run in, and no throw being made that time. So runner at safe at first, and Ordonez, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead, and it'll be ruled, of course, a base hit by Maglio, his 28th RBI. You see there, might have hit the bag, but on the exchange, trying to throw to first base, it is a base hit.
No, the Wood made the toughest play, which was when it hit the bag, he got the short hop on it and is unable to stay with it.
Dodgers won last night by a 4-1 score. Great pitching by Chad Billingsley, winning his 3rd consecutive game. Here's Miguel Cabrera. And on the first pitch, it's a drive deep to right field. Going back, Xavier Paul leaps, and it is ruled in play. And going to third base is Ordonez, who had a hold up. And in at second base is Cabrera with a double that just missed a home run by inches.
That's what makes Miguel Cabrera so dangerous, the ability to hit the ball with authority the other way in any ballpark. Here's the effort by Paul, and clearly hits the top of the wall. With the inside-out swing he has, you see a lot of balls that he hits to right field slide away, and that's exactly what happened there.
So Cabrera, who came in 8th in the league in hitting at .331 and first in runs batted in, and still with 1 out, runners in scoring position, to the pride of Santa Monica, Brennan Bosch. A hard hit, 1-hopper to Blake DeWitt, makes the play, but gets the RBI as Ordonez scores, and it's a 2-0 game as Bosch picks up his 20th RBI of the year. And here is today's defensive lineup for the Dodgers, brought to you by Scotts, Ramirez, Kemp, and Paul in the outfield, Blake, Carroll, DeWitt, and Loney in the infield, and the battery, Russell Martin, catching John Eli. So the runner going to third is Cabrera with 2 out, and here's Brandon Inge. Inge hitting .225, 21 runs batted in. Tigers getting 2 runs in the first inning. Or 1 run scoring after a fly out, the double and the hit, and on the ground out by Cabrera, getting the RBI by Bosch. Pitches inside. Tigers leading 2-0 here. And they come in with one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball.
Very deep lineup, and right now they're testing Eli. That's one thing to do very well, is to get a feel for what the pitcher is trying to do early in the ball game. And so far we've seen Eli miss a couple of spots, and they have wasted no time.
Count is 3 balls and no strikes to Brandon Inge with a runner at third. And there's ball 4. So John Eli, who went 84 straight batters without issuing a walk, has had a rough inning, giving up 3 straight hits after the first out of the game. And then he walks Brandon Inge. And so the first walk in 89 batters for Eli. Runners at first and third. Gerald Laird, the catcher, at the plate.
Take a look at what happens when there's a lot of hard early contact. And he got a little more tentative in the zone.
Laird has been struggling at the plate, hitting .157, breaking ball, and a good stop made by Russell Martin behind the plate. And the count is 1-0. So this is a John Eli that the Dodgers have not seen since he has come up.
A little shaky that first start, and they saw him bounce back and still get through 6 innings. But at the same time, a little different look here with the American League lineup.
Pitch taken for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Gerald Laird from Westminster, California, La Quinta High School, east of Long Beach. Westminster, 36 miles south of Dodger Stadium. And there's a breaking pitch for a strike. And it's 2-1. Scoreboard has been non-operative, but now it seems to be fixed up with the proper count. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, and the Tigers leading 2-0. And there's a fly ball hit to left field, and Manny Ramirez comes over to make the catch to retire the side. But the Tigers get 2 runs on 3 consecutive hits as the Dodgers come up in the first. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Russell Martin back in the lineup, leading off behind the plate. Xavier Paul batting second. Manny Ramirez hitting third, and Matt Kemp batting cleanup. James Loney is in the number 5 slot. Casey Blake is hitting 6. Blake DeWitt batting 7. Jamie Carroll hitting 8. And John Eli, the pitcher, facing Armando Galarraga, who struggled last year. And now talking about maybe he was in pain when he pitched. But if he's anything like he was in his last start, the Tigers have a find once again on the mound.
Yes, they do. A good sinker ball. His arm slot is back on top, getting more sink on the baseball. And he's also a guy with 2 different speeds on his slider. Very interesting.
So this is his second start of the year, and the first pitch is in for the strike. Called up last Sunday and beat the Red Sox, facing Russell Martin, who comes in with the longest hitting streak in the major leagues right now, 15 games. Finally got a breather last night. He has been a workhorse after 22 games behind the plate and hitting .305 during that span. And the pitch is inside, 92 miles an hour, and 2-1 the count.
At times, Galarraga will try to get too fine with that sinker and slide it away, too rotational, and have command issues.
Check swing, but it's over for the strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Martin, who will be followed by Paul and Ramirez. Russell Martin, who has had a couple of down years at the plate, but giving the Dodgers really what they need at the leadoff spot with Rafael Furcal on the disabled list, and he may be coming back soon as the count runs full to the Dodger catcher.
You mentioned the off day. That is important. He is now understanding that it's not about May. It's about also staying fresh for that second half of the season. Very stubborn in years previous to take an off day, Russell Martin.
Foul ball out of play. The count remains 3-2. Mentioned the Dodgers have won 11 out of their last 12 games, including a 9-game winning streak.
There's shouts out there about a month ago about wholesale changes. Look what's happened since.
It's a matter of patience. Joe Torre has a lot of that. Dodgers were 9-14 in the month of April. And you mentioned the 15-4 mark, best in the major league so far in what has been for them a merry month of May. There is the National League West standings. And the Dodgers, who were behind, now tied with San Diego. And the Giants are playing this afternoon. Pitch outside, ball 4, and Russell Martin draws a leadoff walk. Here is today's defensive lineup for the Tigers, brought to you by Scott. Brennan Bosch, Johnny Damon, and Maglio Ordonez in the outfield. Brandon Inge, Adam Everett, Ramon Santiago, and Miguel Cabrera in the infield, and Gerald Laird behind the plate.
Last in fielding with those 35 errors. But it has gotten better, of course, as the pitching has got better, and guys are throwing more strikes.
And they're going to have a new second baseman. Carlos Guillen is having a rehab turn tonight and will play second base when he comes back. But here's a Xavier Paul, who was up earlier, was called up when Manny Ramirez went out with his injury. Came up for 9 games. There's Manny on deck for the Dodgers. Paul hitting .282 in 39 at-bats. Has knocked in 2 runs. And there's a drag bunt. And there is Cabrera feeding the pitcher. Galarraga behind him. Going to third is Russell Martin without a throw. You will not see a drag bunt better than the one put down by Xavier Paul. And Galarraga couldn't get over there fast enough.
Well, Cabrera does his job. He had an idea as to what to do, but the communication was Galarraga took too much time to get off the mound. Anytime you see a pitcher looking back, trying to outrun a runner at first base, absolutely is not going to happen.
And they're going to rule out a base hit. An error charged to Cabrera. Allowing Martin to advance to third.
I'm going to give that to Cabrera. Where's my pitcher? Wait a minute.
The throw was behind him, but you were right. Galarraga was getting over late. In any event, the Dodgers, trailing by 2 runs, have runners at first and third. Nobody out, and here's Manny Ramirez hitting .347. And the pitch down low, ball one. Ramirez not really hitting for power, obviously with 2 homers and 20 RBIs, but hitting for average effectively so far.
And he's a professional hitter. Told me before the game he is finally getting more and more comfortable, understanding more about his swing after missing some days.
Isn't that amazing? At that age, you're still learning as a player. Swings and misses on a great sweeping pitch by Galarraga.
And there's nice run, Dick, by the Dodgers. There's not just talk about one guy. It's not about Manny. It's not about Ethier, who is out right now. It's about just collectively a bunch of good role players doing a nice job for them.
And that's what the Dodgers did last year when they reached the playoffs. They found a way to win in games, but the one thing Joe Torre said, you've got to have that pitching. Here's the 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Manny Ramirez.
That's that slider that his catcher Gerald Laird was telling me about. He'll change speeds on the slider willingly. You see why Manny sees a spin, but not necessarily the velocity that he was looking for.
So the 37-year-old Manny Ramirez, who missed a game, hurt his toe in a freak injury coming off a table and did pinch hit and then was out. Manny being Manny, even away from the field. Runners at the corners. The 1-2 pitch and the pitch away, 2-2.
We've seen the best of Manny Ramirez through the years and staying back and never being in a hurry to hit. Not afraid to get jammed. I mean, that's one issue that has made him so good and such a tough out for a lot of years. Not afraid to use that label, as he says.
His 14 games with a calf injury in the beginning of the month. And a shot hit to left field. Bosch going over and makes the catch on the warning track. Tagging up is Russell Martin. He'll come in and score. And the Tigers lead now is 2-1. And remaining at first base is Xavier Paul. So Manny Ramirez with a sacrifice fly driving in his 21st run of the year.
Here's the way he was treated. Sinker down in the zone. Manny takes a good look. Slider, 1-speed slider, another speed way out front. See the sinker again now. He has timed the slider. This one he does perfectly.
And Bosch making a difficult play. If Bosch needs any work, it's as an outfielder. And he made it look easy there as the first pitch to Matt Kemp is a strike. So 1 out. And Xavier Paul, the runner at first base. Tigers getting 2 in the top of the first, and the Dodgers so far with 1 in the bottom of the first. Kemp hitting .281 with 8 homers, 25 runs knocked in. There goes the runner, and the pitch is hit foul. So Paul will have to come back. He's got decent speed, and when he was sent down, he tore up AAA Albuquerque, hitting .388.
Now, you have one of the best throwing catchers in baseball in Gerald Laird, who he tells his pitchers, I don't want you to vary so much your move or quick step or slide step, but just give me a slight chance. But don't change. Don't sacrifice that pitch. Just give me a slight chance. Don't change too much.
Still direct your attention to the batter.
Because he's got a tremendous arm.
No advance as the ball doesn't quite get away that far from Laird.
You know what else about Laird is he won't change his game calling plan just to accommodate the situation to throw or not to throw. In other words, he won't be calling a lot of fastballs away just to make sure he gets something good to throw. Got to respect that.
And stepping off the rubber, it looked like Paul was perhaps poised to run. And as you mentioned, Laird, who last year threw out 42% of the base stealers. Tigers leading 2-1. Throw to first, diving back safely. Tigers coming in had won 7 of their last 11. In fact, both teams have identical records of 24 wins and 18 losses. And a swing and a missed, strike 3. Chasing that one is Kemp, and he goes down for the second out.
Just like he tells him, don't change your base. Keep throwing your ball game. He took care of the number 4 hitter there, Matt Kemp. Good pitch.
The Minnesota Twins were up 6-2 going in to the 9th inning. And now we understand they are trailing the Milwaukee Brewers 7-6. It looked like the Minnesota Twins were headed for the victory to give them perhaps a game-and-a-half edge over the Tigers, but they go on to lose that game, and the Tigers win. They're back even.
I used to see in the Minnesota Twins, they score a lot of runs like they did yesterday, and Joe Mauer was 0 for 3. What's happening there? He is human.
And it's been a terrific two-team race in the AL Central. Here's James Loney hitting .295. 2 out, runner at first base is Paul. And 1-0 the count to Loney. Loney hitting for more power, it seems, so far this year. He's had back-to-back 90 RBI seasons. And has really scalded the ball at home. So far hitting about .330 at Dodger Stadium. Again, stepping off the rubber is Galarraga. The umpire's Ted Barrett behind the plate. Tony Randazzo is at first. Paul Nert is at second. And Brian Gorman, the umpire, at third. Paul doesn't run, and the pitch is down low. And Galarraga falls behind Loney 2-0.
The one quality that home plate umpire Ted Barrett brings, he's bilingual. So Ted Barrett at times with Spanish-speaking catchers, some pitchers, is able to easily communicate. Isn't that a plus?
I think so. You can also understand what maybe some of the players may be saying as well. So I think it cuts both ways, Jose.
Maybe he doesn't want us to say that too much.
It was great to see your dad, Manny Mota, who I've known for many years, when he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the Dodger clubhouse before the game. Great family.
Certainly appreciate that. As you know, I mean, growing up here, it was like coming back to the old ball yard. And to be able to see Dad and to visit with him. And he's in such great hands with Joe Torre. A lot of good old friends like Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky on the field, and Jim Leland, so happy to see him. Pitch is outside, and Galarraga falling behind 3-0 to James Loney, and Gerald Laird will go to the mound.
That's what Jim Leland was telling me before the game about Galarraga. At times it seems like he doesn't trust just with that sinker. You don't need to spot it too much. You aim sometimes towards the middle of the plate and let it run naturally.
13-7 in 30 starts as a rookie 2 years ago, and fell off with a 6-10 record and a 5.64 earned run average last year. And Jim Leland said this week that he had the feeling there was something wrong, as Galarraga admitted just this week that he was pitching in pain last year, and he had a sore forearm, and that affected his ability to throw the slider the way he wanted to.
And he dropped his arm slot. Immediately, Jim Leland said, I know when a guy's trying to hide something. His arm slot changes. It gets lower.
3-1, and there goes Paul, and a ball hit to center field. Johnny Damon is there and makes the catch to retire the side. But the Dodgers get a run back on a Manny Ramirez RBI. The run unearned. 2011 Super Duty, built for tough, and by the makers of Zantac. Beat that heartburn heat, Zantac. And a beautiful look at the skyline of the City of Angels here in Los Angeles. Dick Stockton and Jose Mota, 67 degrees at game time. A late afternoon start. And Fox, of course, with prime time action tonight. And those of you viewing in the Midwest and the Detroit area are seeing this game in prime time. But a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. Slight breeze out to center field as we go now to the Tigers' second inning, and Manny Ramirez, who accounted for the Dodger run with a sacrifice fly. Tigers up 2-0, and Adam Everett, the shortstop and the number 8 hitter in the lineup, facing John Eli. Everett hitting 188 with 2 runs batted in. 10th season in the big leagues, and takes the ball outside 1-0. Everett, 33 years old, second year with the Tigers. Had been with the Houston Astros. 1 ball, 1 strike to Everett.
We talked about how good the Detroit pitching has gotten in the last couple of weeks. Well, when Adam Everett started at shortstop, they are 15-7.
In the air to right field, Xavier Paul making the out. 1 gone here in the second inning. Now the forward keys to the game.
The Detroit Tigers, 8 rookies this season, and look where they're at, 24-18. And for the Dodgers, a lot of injuries to key players. Andre Ethier, Rafael Furcal, and they have not skipped a beat.
Armando Galarraga takes a strike. And of course, when the American League teams play on the National League, there's no designated hitter, and that really hurts the Tigers, who have 4 outstanding outfielders. And we look at Damon and Bosch, Ordonez, and Austin Jackson, who is not in the lineup today. Austin Jackson, who's been the leadoff hitter, the rookie who came over from the Yankees, and a very impressive player. And Galarraga strikes out on 3 pitches for the second out.
Oh, big is Andre Ethier right to that injury. Look at this. Where he ranks, 38 RBIs, first on the National League. 11 home runs, ties him for first. He really has grown as a hitter and as a player.
And the last player to win the Triple Crown was Carl Yastrzemski with the Red Sox back in '67. Here's Johnny Damon with 2 out, nobody on base. Fly to center his first time up. Last year, the Dodgers had to go without Manny Ramirez for the first 50 games of the season. They certainly survived that. And now Andre Ethier out. Came in tied for the league in home runs. Now he is second, but still on top in batting average and runs batted in.
Well, Manny got off to a good start, and obviously they got the news. He served a suspension, and guess who stepped in? Remember a guy named Juan Pierre?
Yes.
What a wonderful job he did.
And a broken bat ground ball to Blake DeWitt. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for John Eli. So the Tigers go quietly in the second after an inning and a half, 2-1 Detroit. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. Want to see your name on air? Play MLB on Fox. Tune in to win. Now on foxsports.com/tunein. Your predictions must be submitted by the end of the second inning. Stick around to increase your chances of winning with a seventh inning bonus question. Winners will be announced by us on air during the ninth inning. So log on to foxsports.com/tunein to play now. Casey Blake taking a strike from Armando Galarraga, and the count 1-1 to Blake, who's hitting .259, has 5 homers and 24 runs batted in. Notice that Casey Blake now sporting a beard, and it happened to start when the Dodgers began that 9-game winning streak.
And since ball players are not superstitious at all.
Breaking ball is fouled into the Dodger dugout.
You know, we talk about how Manny Ramirez keeps the clubhouse loose and other players really have a great presence, but Casey Blake, you can't take away what a true professional he is, and guys, they go to him for advice throughout the season. It's all about how he carries himself.
And a line drive just fouled down the left field line. But you're so right about Casey Blake. And, of course, everyone talked about the arrival of Manny Ramirez a couple of years ago. But Blake, who came over from Cleveland, you know, kind of was in the shadows of Manny.
And just quietly doing his job. He just misses a double here on this hanging breaking ball. Guys know it's a long season, Dig, and there's time to have fun. There's time to go, well, let me go to that pro over there, and that quiet guy, and see how I can get out of this, especially for young players, who to go to.
And Joe Torre epitomizes the patience and experience that this club has. Foul at the plate, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of people were wondering, what are the Dodgers going to do to react, as you mentioned, from that poor April they had. And all Joe said, nothing I can do. I just got to wait for the pitching to click in, and if it doesn't, we'll be in trouble.
How many times Joe went through that in New York? It's like, hey, come on. Seen it before. We're going to get out of this. You have to trust what you came out of spring training with. You have to trust the roster, the decisions he made, and not push the panic button after a tough start.
Now, Casey Blake has fouled 1 into the Dodger dugout. Also has fouled 1 into the Tiger dugout, so showing no favorites there. And 2-2 pitch hit in the air down the left field line, close to the foul pole, and it is gone. A home run for Casey Blake. Just fair. And Blake, with his 6th home run of the year, ties the game for the Dodgers here in the second.
A true professional hitter with a great professional at bat. You mentioned it. Going side to side, getting a good idea, and then timing it just right. Hands inside the ball to keep that ball inside that pole.
Brendan Bosch watching it go into the stands for the home run in the first pitch, ball 1 to Blake DeWitt. Casey Blake still growing that beard, and now 9 for 20 on this homestand. So he has come alive with the Dodgers on this current homestand, as the count is 1-1 to the Dodgers second baseman DeWitt, hitting .274 with 11 runs batted in.
Interesting how Blake gets to the dugout, and the one guy asking him questions about the pitcher is his own pitcher.
Well, Casey Blake, 36 years old, and has had success against the Detroit Tigers as well when he paid for the Indians. Pop up, and the shortstop Adam Everett makes the catch. Right now, let's go to Chris Rose and Kevin Millar at the Fox Network.
Number 14.
All right, Chris, thanks very much. And boy, do the Mets need a resurgence here, as they came into this game with the Yankees in last place in the NL East, 7 games behind the Phillies, as Jamie Carroll takes ball 1 from Galarraga. and a call strike. What a story, Jamie Carroll, and what he has meant with Furcal out with that hamstring injury. Jamie Carroll has been in the lineup with great hustle, a heady player, does the little things, and the Dodgers are 16-7 with him in the lineup. Lifts the fly ball to Brendan Bosch in left field. He's there, and they are 2 down.
Brendan Bosch, we have seen him get some very good jumps here today. Not the easiest of skies or the sun here at this different start time, but the one area where they want him to improve, we see more and more improvements, especially with that first step.
Tom Brookins, the first base coach for the Tigers, also the outfield coach, has been working with Bosch. And the first pitch to John Eli is a strike.
Anytime you see a young player not just say, what got me to the big leagues was hitting, but then apply the other dimension to stay there and be a bigger contributor to the ball club.
Galarraga is ahead of his opposite number. Eli, no balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Touched for a leadoff home run by Casey Blake to tie the game at 2-2. And that just missed outside. 1-2.
Well, let's see how the advice from Casey Blake applies here.
Eli, 0 for 9.
Looks like he's enjoying this at that. Look at him.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. So after the leadoff home run by Blake, retiring the side in order. We'll return to Dodger Stadium after a word from your local Fox station. .org to learn how you can help us in the fight against cancer. So a 2-2 game as the Tigers come up in the 3rd inning. Tigers getting their 2 runs in the 1st inning. Dodgers got a run in the 1st, and then Casey Blake with his leadoff home run tying the game. Each team has committed an error in this game, so it hasn't been a clean contest thus far. Galarraga against Eli, and Eli will face Santiago, Ordonez, and Cabrera. Just 2, 3, 4 hitters here in the 3rd. Santiago a double. Went to 3rd on an error by Matt Kemp, throwing the ball back in the infield, and came in and scored on Ordonez's base hit. Call strike to Santiago.
Well, we'll see what type of adjustments Eli makes now that he's going to face this order for the second time. And it was Santiago that got it started earlier in the first inning.
And offering it that bunt, which was over his head.
It appeared like Santiago was looking for that ball to drop, actually. Thought it was going to be a curveball.
So the switch hitter behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, foul. And not fouled by much.
Right over the top. He's thinking there's going to be a 12-6 to have the scouting on that, but nope, a little too late to bring it back.
So Eli, with the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Santiago, would like to get this first batter with the heavy hitters coming up, missing 1 and 2. Eli was a big Chicago White Sox fan when he grew up, as we said, in Homewood, Illinois, 20 miles south of Chicago. First game he ever attended was at age 7 at the new Comiskey Park. There's a full third strike, and Santiago goes down. And that is the second strikeout, 1 gone here in the third for Detroit.
That's more like John Eli. Command, control, setting up hitters. Great downhill fastball. It's not about velocity. It's about command.
Right on the inside corner. Here's Ordonez and a high hopper to Blake DeWitt. And quickly there are 2 down. 2 down to Miguel Cabrera. And, mentioned Eli's age 7 going to the new Comiskey Park, and he saw Bo Jackson hit a 3-run homer to clinch the White Sox first division title in 10 years. And now he's facing Miguel Cabrera, who doubled in the first inning, all the way to the fence in right center, and takes ball 1.
You just watch Cabrera hit. Never in a rush. He's not afraid to stay back and hit the ball inside out. Takes his pitches. He sets a good example for a lot of young hitters, especially young sluggers, as to you don't have to be overly aggressive. And trust, I mean, we know how early he had to learn it over with the Marlins.
And Joe Torre very impressed at that 2003 World Series when Miguel Cabrera was a raw 20-year-old rookie at the time. Hitting .386 on the road. That's the best road average in baseball. And he slaps it to the right side. Blake DeWitt is there again, and another 1-2-3 inning for John Eli. 2-2 the score as the Dodgers bat in the third. by Budweiser. And interleague play has begun, and the Dodgers and the Tigers battling in the second game of their three-game series. The score tied here 2-2, and Russell Martin, who led off the Dodger first with a walk and scored on Manny Ramirez's sacrifice fly, takes ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Martin has that 15-game hitting streak. Orlando Hudson had a 17-game hitting streak last year for the Dodgers. There's a slider and a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Armando Galarraga with a 1.59 earned run average in that one start, working 5 2/3 innings impressively. And Jim Leyland said he's going to learn a lot about his pitching rotation with how Galarraga responds today.
Yes, he will.
Foul ball.
And let's not ignore that 2 years ago, in 2008, Galarraga did go 13-7 with a 3.73 ERA, and the league hit only .226 against him. So Jim Leyland understands very well the potential and the ability that he has to really make his staff better.
Tiger relievers have been outstanding, and the starters were not for a while, but now the starters have come in bloom full force. The 1-2 pitch fouled away. Jeremy Bonderman with 8 strikeouts on Thursday, beating Oakland. Of course, Justin Verlander has been brilliant with a 5-2 record. Verlander, the ace of the staff. And Rick Porcello, who lost his last outing. And the pitch is outside.
It is a bullpen that not very many hitters want to see. I mean, they are some serious power arms out there.
Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We talk about starters. Their starters ERAs are 5.08, but the bullpen ERA is 2.45. In other words, you have the ability to shorten games.
And an 11-4 record for the bullpen. As Galarraga dealing with Martin, leading off here in the third. The 2-2 pitch and a bouncer to third base. Brandon Inge across the diamond, and there's one gone. Boy, Inge took a shot off the bat of Manny Ramirez last night that Larry Boa said was just about the hardest ball he had seen. Bounced off his leg, and Inge was battling injuries. Let's take a look at this.
Hot corner. Oof. That is a shot. After the game, Inge said, nope, I'm not going to rub it. A big old welt in his leg.
Compliments of Manny Ramirez. So 1 out. Xavier Paul, who was safe on a bunt single, takes a strike 1 from Galarraga. Drag bunt that was fielded by Cabrera and flew behind Galarraga. And they ruled the error. Charge to Cabrera, not Galarraga, who was a little late getting over to first base, but that's the way the official score interpreted.
They cannot still disagree.
You've seen enough of them. No balls and 2 strikes to Xavier Paul, and that's down low.
But what a beauty to bring that dimension of the game. The bunt and the pressure that it creates for the fielders. Prime example right there. That changed that whole inning. And it's part of the game that a lot of contact hitters have gotten away from, unfortunately, especially young players that are afraid to bunt.
It's a great weapon, and I know that in spring training they work on different stations at the first day of spring training, and bunting is one of them.
And then season starts as see you.
1-2 pitch and a line drive to Adam Everett, the shortstop, and Xavier Paul is retired. Well, the upcoming primetime games on Fox. Saturday, June the 26th at 7 p.m. The Yankees and the Dodgers. That coastal rivalry. The Red Sox will play the Giants in San Francisco, and the Cubs and White Sox. They won't travel that far for that game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Well, here's Manny Ramirez, who knocked in the first Dodger run with a sacrifice fly into the warning track in left field his first time up, now with 21 RBIs. 2 down, nobody on in the Dodger third. We're all even at 2 apiece. Galarraga misses and falls behind 2-0.
Going back to that primetime schedule, how about that, huh? Joe Torre will be managing against the Yankees.
And it's going to be emotional to a point, I would think, especially seeing the likes of Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, and the players that he managed to those world championships. But, you know, we all know that Joe Torre kind of closed the book when he left Yankee Stadium.
Here's a guy he saw for many years just make his life impossible when Manny was part of the Red Sox.
Count is 2-1 to Manny Ramirez. Pops this one up wide of first. Cabrera reaching in, and it looked like he had a chance to make the catch as he reached in with his glove, and it bounced into the first row.
Did not get the right routing going out there, and did not get close to that short divider there in time. If you're guiding yourself gingerly and don't get under the ball right away, you're going to have trouble, and he did there.
2-2 to Manny Ramirez with 2 away. Armando Galarraga settling down after giving up the home run to Casey Blake, and a called third strike, and Manny is out. Third strikeout of the game. 1-2-3 inning. Brennan Bosch from Santa Monica. His family and friends are here. He's due up for the Tigers in the 4th. Guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles. And by Holiday Inn, stay you with the official partner of Major League Baseball road trips. And there is a Santa Monica Pier, the home of Brennan Bosch, who returns to Dodger Stadium, where he attended Dodger games as a kid with his dad. Now coming here and playing against the Dodgers as he fouls off the first pitch, knocked in. Second Tiger run with a ground out in the first inning.
Now we saw why their first base coach, Tom Brookins, is way back there. Be careful.
He's aware of the power ability of Bosch.
And his power dig to every side of the field.
6'6". He's big. Pitch is inside. He was called up when Carlos Guillen got hurt, and funny story for Brendan Bosch, his cell phone died, and there's the family. We'll get a chance to show them again, and he really didn't get the news of his call-up. As you see, his father Philip, his mom Vivian, and sister Cassidy Bosch, mom in the orange, and Cassidy in the blue with the pigtails. 2 seats to the left of Philip, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Bosch strikes out. Right now, let's go to Chris Rose and Kevin Millar at the Fox Network Center.
Brandon Inge.
All right, thank you, Chris. What a wild game that is. And the Minnesota Twins refused to go down. They were up 6-2, and then the big rally by the Brewers. And who will have the last laugh in this game?
They're missing the baggie in right field.
Right.
That shot.
Brandon Inge, check swing, foul out of play. And the count, no balls on 2 strikes to the Tiger third baseman.
So far, so good on the second time that John Eli sees this lineup. 3 ground balls to second base and 2 strikeouts.
And he retired the Tigers in the second and third inning, just throwing 10 pitches in each of those frames after a rough first inning. It's 1-2 now to Inge, who walked his first time up.
Some of those guys that his manager Joe Torre says it may not be the prettiest way, but he finds a way to get it done.
And that's the name of the game. And Dodgers relying on a real young pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, their ace. Ground ball eaten up by Casey Blake at third. And that'll be the second out here in the 4th inning. And Gerald Laird coming to the plate now.
Catcher, number 8, Gerald Laird.
Grew up in Gardens Grove, California, and as we mentioned, attended La Quinta High School in Westminster. So, the Dodger motto, as you know, is this is my town, and a lot of the Tigers can come in and say the same thing.
And they're loving this.
This is my town as well.
The additional trip besides going to Anaheim facing the Angels also coming to Dodger Stadium.
Of course, Danny Wirth, who's not in the lineup, attended Pepperdine in Malibu, and he too is a native from Southern California. Fouled off the screen, and the count 1-1 to Gerald Laird with 2 out here in the 4th.
Eli again working fast. You can see why he's gotten better after a rough first inning.
Eli turned 24 just 9 days ago. And a breaking ball is lined to left field for a base hit. So Eli had retired 9 Tigers in a row before Laird gets a much-needed base hit. Well under 200. So a 2-out single will bring up Adam Everett.
It's a pitch he'll like to get back. You break into this hung too much. And for Laird, a welcome sight to see the ball drop in the grass. Came into this game batting 157.
Tiger hitters have not come around yet, or the catchers have not. And here's Everett, who flied to Paul in right field back in the second inning. There's a breaking ball, and it misses. 1-0 the count. So the Tigers get their first hit since they put 3 in a row together in the first. After Santiago doubled, Ordonez with a single, and Cabrera doubled in succession. 1-1 now to Everett. A Tiger fan in the midst of Dodger blue.
He's hearing it.
And it's all good natured. That's what you find. People come to the ballpark in most places. There's a base hit to the opposite field. Holding at second is Laird as Paul gets it in. And back-to-back singles with 2 out here in the 4th inning. Adam Everett on at first base, and that will bring up Galarraga, the pitcher.
One thing that Eli will learn quickly, obviously, is that you want to get that pitcher to come up the next inning. And quality pitches notwithstanding, you have to bear down a little bit more here. So now you eliminate the pitcher from hitting in this next inning.
And if Galarraga's retired, it'll be the top of the order in the fifth. Johnny Damon, first pitch is a strike.
Well, don't take it for granted either. We know what happened yesterday in St. Louis. Pitcher hit a grand slam.
Brad Penny, and then he hurt his back while swinging, and he's on the disabled list. And he has been pitching well for Tony La Russa and the Tigers. Slapped slowly to second base. Blake DeWitt will make the play to retire the sides. 2 hits and 2 left. Tigers retired in a 2-2 game as the youngsters here at the ballpark hoping that the Dodgers can pull out another win. As the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 4th inning against Armando Galarraga, the 28-year-old Venezuelan, giving up single runs in the 1st and 2nd inning. An unearned run in the 1st, and then Casey Blake leading off with a home run in the 2nd, facing Matt Kemp, James Loney, and then Casey Blake here in the 4th. And the first pitch taken 1-0. Kemp struck out his first time up. The native of Spencer, Oklahoma. And if you're wondering about the population of that metropolis, 4,000. And a shot, fair ball down the left field line. Going for extra bases. And Matt Kemp in with a leadoff double here in the 4th inning. Just fair down the left field line. Talked to Joe Torre about Rafael Furcal and his status.
Well, Dick, he was at extended spring in Glendale today, and he had 5 at-bats. You know, you can create some things when it's just an extended spring game. So he had 5 at-bats. He tried to bunt. He first to third. He did a lot of things that really tested, you know, his skills and his leg, and everything seemed to be fine. So when he gets here tomorrow, we'll figure it out. But, you know, we'll see if we're going to activate him for tomorrow's game or take advantage of the off day on Monday and do it on Tuesday.
Talk about off days, Joe. Russell Martin finally takes an off day, and you're talking more about keeping him rested. But from your experience as a former catcher, what are the things that are going to help him by taking some off days sometime?
Well, you know, and Russell's very different than a lot of catchers. He goes out there and he got this energy that's built in that he just doesn't want to give it. And then I finally saw a little tired in his eye the other day. And, he agreed to take the off day yesterday, which I was happy. I didn't realize he had caught 22 straight games. Of course, we had a couple of off days in there. But I told AJ he had the day off today.
Joe, thanks very much for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Meanwhile, Joe Torre's Dodgers enjoying a 3-2 lead as James Loney hit the first pitch to left field to drive in Matt Kemp to give the Dodgers a 3-2 lead. Nobody out against Armando Galarraga here in the fourth inning. For Loney, his 28th run batted in, and here is Casey Blake, who touched him for a home run just inside the foul pole down the left field line back in the second inning.
Well, Dick, they're playing well. I mean, that's without Ethier, that's without Furcal. But now you see the importance of signing those right guys, and Nick Colletti did exactly that in the offseason. Having filled in the Belliards, Jamie Carroll, the Green. But they do miss those bats.
You need the 25-man roster. Ball strike to Blake.
Here's Bosch, much improved in the outfield. You see right over the top, the spin of the ball. Seems going backwards. One throw, one hopper. But the speed of Kemp is what beat him.
No balls and a strike to Blake. Dodgers, who were trailing 2-0, now in front 3-2. And Blake pops it up, foul territory, and out of play. Big bounce, about 20 rows back.
Well, the old Dodger Stadium, let me tell you, we would have seen at least 3 more outs at this point than we're seeing now because of the additional seats. But what a pitcher's paradise this used to be.
And, of course, you see the shadows and the effects that they're having in this late afternoon Pacific time start. Starting at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern. No balls and 2 strikes to Blake. And serving the ball out to right field and dropping for a base hit, Casey Blake. So he hit for power and got his bat on the ball and a base hit. Third straight hit for the Dodgers here in the fourth as Loney advances to second.
You're talking about the shadows. I asked Don Mattingly, the Dodgers hitting instructor, about in his approach, what would he recommend the hitters to do? He goes, well, less movement, because the more you can't see the ball, the more you want to jump to find the ball. And he said it's not so much not seeing the ball as clearly, but not being able to read the spins, and that's what gets you.
Very difficult when you're not used to playing at this particular time of day. Here's Blake DeWitt. 3 straight hits. The Dodgers lead 3-2. Runners at first and second. Still nobody out. And that's a fair ball down the right field line into the corner. James Loney will score. They're going to wave in Casey Blake, and he's going to score. And going into third with a stand-up triple is Blake DeWitt. And the Dodgers lead it 5-2.
Taking the advice from Doc Mattingly, keep your head down, less movement. Here it is. Very hittable. And Galarraga is just standing straight too much, not following enough on his pitches, and everything's staying flat so far this inning. Right over the line. Once it gets to that corner, it's a little tricky. But you can see he's not bending down enough to get more sink and more effect and more action on his pitches.
And Rick Knapp, the pitching coach for the Tigers, going out to the mound, and bullpen activity begins for Detroit. Left-hander Futini starts to throw. And while we have a moment, let's check in with Chris Rose and Kevin Millar at the Fox Network Center. All right, not very far from you, Chris. And here, after the meeting at the mound, the infield drawn in for the Tigers with a runner at third, still nobody out, and Jamie Carroll fouls the first pitch off out of play for a strike. So the Dodgers coming up with 3 big runs here in the fourth inning, taking a 5-2 lead. And Blake now 2 for 2 with the home run and single, but Blake DeWitt with the big triple And the Tigers have had enough, looking for the ground ball and a possible play at the plate. Galarraga's pitch, and it's a call, strike 2 to Jamie Carroll.
Caught Carroll there by surprise, looking for something else, but I still think Galarraga is just standing straight too much. For a single ball to get more effect, even though he does a good job using his hands sometimes to finish off the pitches and give a little torque, but not seeing it here. Everything just staying up around the waist.
Pitcher John Eli is on deck, and that misses.
One more like it. Now watch here. He starts nice and balanced. As he follows through, we see more action going downhill in that last finish. There it is. As we saw the effect of the pitch at the end.
1-2. And another foul ball out of play. This would be a big hitter for Galarraga here with nobody out, with Eli the pitcher on deck. And the infield perhaps would move back with 2 away. Russell Martin would be in the hole. 4 straight hits for the Dodgers here in this 4th inning. 2 singles, a double, and a triple. And a 5-2 lead. In the dirt. And it's 2-2 to Jamie Carroll.
And because the pitchers have to hit, obviously, here the interleague games in the National League, at least for Jim Leland, if he has to make a move, the last batter was his pitcher. In other words, there's not that automatic need, urgent need for a double switch, so you don't lose another player off the bench.
Two to Carroll, and he fouls it back. It's right on that fastball from Galarraga. Facing Jamie Carroll, just 5'9", 168 pounds. Similar in style to David Eckstein. Does the little things to help a club. Been with the Indians, the Rockies, and the Nationals. The Dodgers, his 4th team. Really paying dividends, especially for call out. Chopper to third, and Inge will make the play. And DeWitt holds at third, and a big out for Galarraga. 1 out, and John Eli coming up. Nationwide, thousands of communities have gotten involved as Chevy and Scotts have set out to rebuild local ballparks. Don't miss your chance to get involved and to win a new Chevy at ChevyBaseball.com. So Eli, the batter, called out on strikes his first time up. The infield remains in with 1 away, and Blake DeWitt with the lead at third. Big swing that time by Eli.
So he's a character. He actually, his teammates tell me they like to watch when he's up hitting. And
here they are.
Yeah, nobody misses a pitch here. It's like, hey, stay in there. Let's go.
Quite an entertainment center. Joe Torre said, he's like Mark Fidrich, that fidgeting pitcher that the Tigers had many years ago without talking to the ball.
Yeah, look how active he is. But look at his feet. Look at his legs.
And the pitch out. It's 1-1.
Wow. He even moved on the pitch out. He's doing the right things, though. He's picking up his third base coach.
Long look at Larry Boa with the count 1 ball and 1 strike. And a chopper to third. Once again, Inge looks DeWitt back to the bag and throws out Eli for the second out. So with the runner at third and nobody out, and 3 runs in for the Dodgers, Russell Martin will come up with the infield move back now and 2 down.
Well, not for a lack of effort. In fact, I haven't seen a pitcher run down that first base line as fast as Eli just did there. Made contact. That's all he can do there.
So here's Russell Martin, and there it is again. And here's the hustle.
Automatic counter pitcher. He says, no way.
He's a player. He's an athlete. You run it out. And Russell Martin pops up in foul territory. And going over and making the catch is Cabrera as Galarraga pitches out of it, but not before the Dodgers get 3 and take a 5-2 lead. And a beautiful afternoon here at Dodger Stadium. Good crowd on hand as the Dodgers take a 5-2 lead into the top of the 5th inning, and it'll be the top of the order against John Eli, Johnny Damon, Ramon Santiago, and Maglio Ordonez for Detroit.
And we'll see how he continues to improve. We've seen better command of that fastball. He hasn't been able to establish that changeup yet, but also he's a guy that gets a good feel for pitching, and it's like, unlike other young pitchers, he doesn't force the issue. If he's getting outs with his fastball, great command, stay with the plan.
And his poise has been terrific, belying his 24 years of age. Johnny Damon, 0 for 2. Casey Blake is playing even with the bag and close to third. And the first pitch up high, ball 1.
Before you left, when you go 14-2 in Double-A with an ERA under 3, you are doing something right. And that's what he did last year for the White Sox organization.
And there's a strike. John Eli attended Miami of Ohio, where he had a very impressive 26-7 record in his college days. And there's a pop fly out of play. And now you get the idea of why Casey Blake playing so close to the line against Johnny Damon.
Johnny Damon breaks a lot of bats. He's not afraid to stay back. You see the shadow there covering that left side of the infield, getting over to the left fielder, Manny Ramirez, too. Tougher to read.
1-2 pitch hit in the air to right field. Xavier Paul, though, is there, and he makes the catch for the first out. So Johnny Damon retired 3 times today. He caught up with Jim Leland, the Tiger manager, and asked him if he was impressed with how the rookies have performed so far for his team.
Yeah, they've done a good job. I think our veterans have really helped that along, though. The veterans have done pretty good, and I think the rookies really have, have kind of fed off the veterans, and I think the veterans have fed off the energy of the young guys, so it's worked out pretty good so far.
How about your rotation and what you've seen so far in terms of Galarraga?
Well, today he's underneath his slider too much. He's getting underneath it, and, he's hung 2 or 3 sliders, and he got away with a couple, and he didn't get away with a couple, but he's getting underneath his breaking ball too much.
All right, Jim, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
So the Tigers have a base runner with 1 out here in the 5th inning.
part of why the veterans have been so good with the rookies feeding off their energy. Guys like Michael Ordonez, Miguel Cabrera, Gerald Laird.
Throw to first base, and Santiago gets back. So the top of the order has come through a bit. Santiago with 2 hits, Ordonez with an RBI single, and Cabrera has a double. And the heart of the order up now. And there's a strike. 0-1.
Michael used to have a deep crouch at the plate. And one thing he says that it used to affect his back knee, so he's not as rotational anymore. But watch how much more he stands up. But his balance stays great through the zone.
And a check swing. And he went around for the strike, 0-2.
That's a shadow, excuse me, swing right there, Dick. Yes.
It's an excuse me swing, not an excuse me base hit.
There it is. If you're a pitcher, use it.
Santiago with the lead at first and getting back there. So the Tigers trying to fight back here in the 5th inning. They led 2-0 in their half of the first inning. The Dodgers with single runs in the first and second innings, and then with 3 big runs in the 4th to take the 3-run lead. And now Detroit trying to get back at it. Slap to third base. Blake going over to DeWitt to throw to first base. And a double play. And a good play made by Blake DeWitt against Santiago, bearing down hard on him. First double play of the game ends the Tigers' bid in the 5th. Is presented by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. And the Dodgers leading by 3 runs. It'll be Paul, Ramirez, and Kemp against Armando Galarraga here in the 5th inning. And the first pitch to Xavier Paul is a ball. Paul was safe on a drag bunt in the first inning, and then hit a soft liner to Adam Everett his second time up. And there's a shot to center field. And Xavier Paul with the leadoff base hit, his second hit of the game.
How about this double play and the way it ended? And started by the veteran. Now you set your feet, quick release. You feed your second baseman. They converted third baseman, by the way, but look at the job by Blake DeWitt using the bag as protection. Squaring up the shoulders, firing away.
So here's Manny. And the Tigers again, Futini, who was up earlier, left-hander throwing once again in the bullpen. Manny 0 for 1. And a run batted in by virtue of a sacrifice fly in the first inning, and the time is called. Well, Manny Ramirez might get a hit today, but we can't guarantee it. Now, did you know that Valvoline can guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles? Well, Valvoline, the first and only motor oil in the industry to guarantee your engine up to 300,000 miles.
Well, Manny wants it run here, Dick.
And there goes the runner. The pitch is a strike. And they're going to call interference. They're going to send it back. And I wonder whether Manny's bat struck Gerald Laird's glove, and they're going to send Paul back to first.
Let's take a look here also as to where Manny lands. Where his bat follow through. Long follow through. Watch out.
On the helmet.
There it was.
So Paul, who got a good jump and would have had the base stolen, goes back to first. The count is 0-1 to Manny. And fouls it back 0-2. Good fastball by Galarraga to get ahead on the count on Manny Ramirez.
Good job by Tim Barrett. He was right on that call behind the plate. Got a great look. No argument from Manny. And no argument from Joe Torre. Mr. Espanol. Sometimes.
And you know one thing you learn when you look at replays in games, how great these umpires are to call games in real time. You know, we're so used to seeing replays in super slow motion. They have to see it with the naked eye as it happens, full speed. There's the 0-2 pitch. Runner doesn't go, and a ground ball to second base. Force, and the throw to first. In time for the double play. So Manny hits into a 4-6-3 double play. And the first double play turned over by the Tigers. Erases Xavier Paul, and there are 2 out.
Now, very strange swing by Manny. Watch, he starts, but is not sure exactly where the ball is going to land. All because of the ball coming out of his hand in the sun. And then watch this. Oops, I'm going to stop. No, that's not a Manny Ramirez type swing right there.
It was a half swing in essence, as Matt Kemp comes up and takes ball 1. So Manny retired, and the Dodgers have 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th inning. Kemp with a double came around and scored a run last inning as he scored on James Loney's base hit, and the count 1-1 to the Dodgers center fielder.
So a costly follow-through swing for Manny Ramirez.
Otherwise, we'd have 1 out, and Paul would be at third base. And a fly ball hit deep to left field. Brendan Bosch looking up. It's gone. Home run for Matt Kemp. And that'll be all for Armando Galarraga as Matt Kemp hits his 9th home run of the year, driving in his 26th run, and the Dodgers have opened up a 6-2 lead. And the new pitcher coming in for Detroit will be Boutini as Kemp gave it a ride. said Futeni.
Third baseman, number
You say
7,
Futini.
James Loney.
All right. You're not going to. What are you doing? What are you doing? Facing James Loney with 2 out and the base is clear after the long home run by Matt Kemp, and he takes a strike.
Futeni, very effective, great off-speed stuff. He'll keep the ball down, not afraid to get extended by or stretched out by his manager. He's going to be around the zone.
13th appearance of the year, last pitched on Sunday against the Red Sox. And the pitch is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And today is Taiwan Day at Dodger Stadium. So Futeni, 27-year-old from Ping Kong, Taiwan, in his 2nd year, coming in for the Tigers. As his country is honored today here at Dodger Stadium.
Isn't that great? Who would have thought? Yeah.
And there's a base hit to left center field, struck by James Loney. So Loney is on with his 2nd hit of the game. Well, Ted Barrett explaining what Jose Mota explained about Manny Ramirez's swing hitting the hat of Gerald Lair.
On the backswing, he's going to go back. He goes back to first.
He wastes no time, and maybe this long swing cost the Dodgers another run. And it's easy to say. We don't know if he was going to hit a ground ball to second base.
That's true. We don't know if Kemp was then going to hit a home run, right?
Exactly.
Let's rewind history.
Yes, we make it sound so easy sometimes. Well, we know one thing. It cost him a stolen base.
That we do know, yes. So Casey Blake with a home run and a single, and he has scored 2 of the Dodgers' 6 runs. Loney, the runner at first. The throw gets back. Looked like the Tigers were going to get out of trouble in this inning after Paul led off with a single, and Manny on his half swing bouncing into a 4-6-3 double play, but then Matt Kemp hit the 2nd home run of the game for the Dodgers. Casey Blake hitting the 1st, back in the 2nd. Dodgers leading 6-2 after trailing 2-0 in the top of the 1st inning.
Well, that home run becomes exactly the way that Jim Needham described how the ball was coming out of Galarraga's hand, which is getting under the ball too much. Everything getting just too flat.
And you had pointed that out earlier, that the slider wasn't coming out exactly the way he wanted. 1-0 upcoming to Casey Blake. There's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike.
If you have that kind of pitch, and you can pitch fastballs in, with the ball coming out of the sun into the shadow, you should get a lot of outs and maybe a couple of broken bats. But hurry up, it's moving.
Out of play, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Blake. Futeni in relief of Armando Galarraga, who worked 4 2/3 innings, allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 8 hits, walked 1 and struck out 3, and gave up the 2 home runs. There's the lead by Loney with 2 down and 1-2 the count to Blake. And there goes Loney, and they've got him trapped. And the throw and out at second base. So James Loney out 1-3-6, caught stealing, but the Dodgers add to their lead. Baseball presented by Budweiser is sponsored by Michelin, a better way forward. By Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage. And by Chevy, every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty. Well, that's Malibu, and who would want to go to college in Malibu at Pepperdine? Why would you want to go to that area?
Well, you and I are going little parasailing after the game. There it is. Give me a glimpse.
Miguel Cabrera facing John Eli. And somehow you don't want to see the vision of that beach go by that fast. And the first pitch is a strike. Cabrera has a double in 2 trips to the plate. Fouls off the fastball, 0-2.
How good is this guy and how consistent he is? Well, those numbers do not lie, and it doesn't matter National or American League.
1-2 now to Cabrera.
You consider, Dick, when he came up, he was the stud. He was the up-and-coming. He was a future star of the Marlins. They won with him. He changed positions, but his bat has never changed.
He's averaged 33 home runs the last 5 years. Talk about consistency. 4-time All-Star in the National League and a home run champ. And we get a chance to really focus in on a very colorful pitcher, John Eli, who was a spitting image to Matthew McConaughey, really, when you take a look.
He's going to win a lot of fans with that.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and a base hit to right center field by Cabrera, and it's fielded by Matt Kemp and holding at first base. Second hit by Cabrera, leading off the 6th inning. And right now, let's go to Chris Rose and Kevin Millar at the Fox Network Center. All right, Chris, and boy, Dice K has been a Jekyll Hyde pitcher for the Red Sox as of late. And a strike to Brennan Bosch with 1 on and nobody out. And the Red Sox who lost to the Phillies. And Cole Hamels last night with a good lead here.
John Lafleur gave up a few runs.
0-1 the count to Bosch. And a fly ball hit down the line in right field. Paul chases it and makes the catch right into the sun. And going back to first is Cabrera as Bosch is retired for the 3rd time.
Go back to David Ortiz and what Chris Rose was talking about. David Ortiz openly, when talking to the media about this, we see Paul tracking this ball here. What a nice job. David Ortiz clearly said, hey, so many people decided that I was done. And said, I'll decide when I am done. And it seems again like he's on a surge, just like it happened last season.
It has not been a pleasant time for the Red Sox this year as Brandon Inge lifts a pop fly out to short left field. Jamie Carroll is out, gives way to Ramirez, who makes the catch for the 2nd out as Cabrera goes back to first base. Because, the big question about Mike Lowell, who a lot of people thought was traded away, and that deal was rescinded. And Ortiz, a slow start, come on as of late, and Lowell said maybe the Red Sox don't really need me around.
Well, you see what is happening in the East, and there's no doubt Tampa Bay is for real. They play the game right. They pressure you. They're clutch hitters, great pitching staff, young pitchers that go deep into ball games, and a magnificent closer. They're there to stay. Trust me.
They got balance. Gerald Laird with a slider and a strike. Laird 1 for 2 with a single. Dodgers lead it 6-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. John Eli, who is 2-1, making his 5th start of the year, had walked only 3 coming into this game in 25 innings, and there's a shot hit to left field, and Manny is there to make the catch. Leadoff single by Cabrera, and then Eli gets the next 3. Blake DeWitt with a 2-run triple, and Ordonez knocking home a Tiger run in the first. Detroit getting 2 in the top of the first inning, and that's all she wrote as John Eli has shut down Detroit. And here's Casey Blake, who's 2 for 2 with a home run and a single, was at the plate when James Loney was out attempting to steal, and that pitch is in for the strike, 1-1.
Very typical, the hesitation you see with Kuteni when he comes to the plate. And it's almost like a double start going back with his right knee to try to throw the timing off of the hitter. Watch him. Watch that right knee come up and then go back again.
Ground ball foul. Kuteni facing Blake. Kuteni is the 6th Taiwanese player to play in Major League Baseball. Brewers and Twins, and that's been a Donnybrook, and our game break will be coming up shortly. And of course that directly affects the Detroit Tigers, who came in 1 game behind the Twins in the AL Central. That's down low, 2-2.
Some company here, countryman in the Dodger bullpen. Han Chi-Kuo also from Taiwan. It's Taiwan Day here at Dodger Stadium.
A glorious late afternoon start here in LA. Blake will be followed by Blake DeWitt and Jamie Carroll here in the 6th. And a good catch by a fan. Sign him up.
He wants the crowd to get up. I don't think he's getting much response here. A little attention here.
And a base hit through the hole in left field. So a perfect day. Casey Blake is 3 for 3. A home run and 2 singles. He has scored 2 runs. And that starts the Dodgers 6th as Blake DeWitt comes to the plate.
As we talk about the Taiwanese pitchers, Chin Ming Wong. Just imagine what a great addition he could be to the Washington Nationals, who are playing good baseball.
Yes,
right
they
now.
are. It was 1 game under 500 coming into today's play. It's Blake DeWitt, 1 for 2, but a triple just inside the foul line down the line, knocking in 2 runs in the 4th inning. Strike 1 to Blake DeWitt.
He has made a great transition to second base. Never complained about how many times he got sent down last year. He was a guy that really surprised a lot of people by his ability to be just a ball player.
Started 101 games as a rookie 2 years ago and was the opening day second baseman this year. And he mentioned 5 times he's been up to the big leagues and sent down to Albuquerque. First round pick back in 04.
Always went down with the right attitude until the opportunity came this year. Look what's happened.
1 ball and 1 strike, and the pitch is inside. And then, of course, you can talk about attitude. And of course, the story this week of Hanley Ramirez of the Florida Marlins and the problems that he had. Freddie Gonzalez, his manager, who I think handled the entire situation as good as any manager could.
Salted the Marlins, also involving a couple of Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Andre Dawson and Tony Perez. Teach him how to do things right.
2 balls and a strike. 6-2 lead and a big cut and a miss. 2-2. And, you know, Hanley Ramirez is a good guy and has tremendous talent. And he's young.
Yes. What he did, not acceptable. Teammates, fans, and Freddie Gonzalez handled it the right way. But then he also put it aside quickly, too, which is important.
Ground ball to second base. Santiago over to Everett, and the throw to first with a double play. So the second double play in as many innings. And there are 2 down in the 6th as we check in with Chris Rose and Kevin Millar at the Fox Network Center.
Dodger shortstop number 14, Jamie Carroll.
All right, guys, thank you very much. And here's Jamie Carroll with 2 out, nobody on base. here in the 6th inning, and the first pitch is a strike. So the Twins persevere. They were up 6-2, down 7-6. They tied it up and win an extra inning. So now the Tigers are in danger of falling 2 games behind Minnesota if they don't come back in this game against LA.
That's a good ball club.
Yes, they are. Well managed. Fly ball to right field. And Ordonez makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the 6th. And we'll return to Dodger Stadium after a word from your local Fox station. Stake to a 4-run lead will be facing a couple of pinch hitters as the Tigers will send up their impressive rookie Austin Jackson to bat for Adam Everett. Well, visit your local Lowe's to cast your Scott's MLB All-Star ballot and enter for a chance to win a VIP All-Star Week experience. Compliments of Scott's. So here's Austin Jackson, who all he's done as a rookie has hit safely of 20 of 21 road games for the Tigers, hitting .333, second in the league in hits with 58. Wow.
Impressive young man. Look at this approach.
And the first pitch is a strike. And, of course, Jackson was property of the Yankees, and he was acquired in the deal that sent Curtis Granderson over to the Pinstripes. And the count now 0-2 is Eli jumps ahead of the pinch hitter.
He does strike out a lot, but when you're hitting .333, go ahead and strike out. You're doing a lot of things right to hit .333.
7th in the league coming into this game and getting a day off until he pinch hits. There's a breaking ball. And, of course, the Tigers, as we mentioned, with 4 outfielders that they could use. And there you see Hong-Chi Kuo warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Tigers have right-hander Joel Zamaya up in theirs. And the bat goes flying, and a great play by Carroll, not in time to first base. And so Austin Jackson is safe on an infield hit, and a bat went flying into the stands. And Jamie Carroll made a sensational dive.
That's an outstanding effort by Carroll, showing his abilities to go to his left and get up. The only reason he doesn't make this out is because of a guy running who can really fly. Jackson's safe at first, and also the fans are safe for that flying bat. Helicopter blade.
And that's the 8th hit of the game for the Tigers, who are trailing by 4 runs. And there's a fan, and boy, that looks pretty sharp. They better put that away. And Russell Martin going to the mound to talk to Eli, as Don Kelly comes up to pinch hit for the pitcher Futeni.
Going back to Austin Jackson, what he's done this year and being part of a big trade. Curtis Granderson and company, but how about this? Hits 58 among rookies. Average first. 11 doubles. What else has he done? Play a tremendous center field.
And so Joe Torre going to the mound. Hong Chi Kuo getting set to come in from the bullpen. We'll be right back. The great people of Taiwan getting treated to seeing several of their own appear in this game.
Wonderful thing. A couple of lefties out of the bullpen. Futeni does it for the Tigers. Now Hong Chi Kuo with his tremendous fastball coming in for the Dodgers.
Making his 11th appearance of the year. His last outing earned him his 8th hold of the year Tuesday. So he'll be facing a pinch hitter. Now it will be Don Kelly, who was announced. And then Joe Torre went out after the announcement of Kelly, went to the bullpen for the left-hander. So Ryan Rayburn, who was just called up, and Casper Wells sent down to the Toledo Mud Hens. So Rayburn, called up today for the second time, will be batting in the pitcher spot.
Not an easy at bat against Hong Chi Kuo, who can go mid-90s with that fastball. Many hitters around the league call him a very uncomfortable at bat.
And the first pitch, ball 1 to Rayburn in his 5th year. While he was down at AAA, all he did was hit .444 last year in 113 games for the Tigers. Batted .291. So the Tigers trying to get something back, trailing 6-2 here in the 7th inning. And the fastball fouled back, and 1-1 the count to the pinch hit.
He was right on that one. Looking fastball. Lloyd McClendon does a good job with these hitters. The Tiger hitting instructor is passing information what to expect in certain counts from all the pitchers they face.
So John Eli working 6 innings plus, giving way to Hong Chi Kuo, and there's a breaking ball over for the strike, and it's 1-2.
Kuo really has been challenged, and we took a look at Lloyd McClendon, former Major League manager. And former first baseman also in the big leagues. But talking about arm injuries and surgeries, Dick, Cool has passed every test.
And it's popped up. Jamie Carroll. And that'll be the first out. Well, today's MLB on Fox Tune In to Win bonus question is, which player did not hit 20 or more career home runs at both Dodger Stadium and Tiger Stadium? Kirk Gibson, Frank Howard, Darrell Evans, or Eddie Murray? Now to answer, visit foxsports.com/tunein and make your selection before the final out of the 7th inning. Not in the game, we'll sign up today for next week's MLB on Fox game at foxsports.com/tunein. Johnny Damon fouls off the first pitch for a strike, so there's one out. And Austin Jackson still at first base for the Tigers in the 7th.
See how quickly people want to jump on that fastball.
So lefty facing lefty here. Damon is 0 for 3. Throw misses away from the plate, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. So Damon has flied out to center, grounded to second, and then flied out to left field. So he has used the entire field in his 3 at-bats thus far. Again, off to the left side.
Keep in mind one thing that Joe Torre knows. He's got to bring those important pieces from the bullpen, because the Detroit Tigers are no strangers to large comebacks. Okay, and trust me, Joe knows very well, as he studies and scouts his teams, what damage they can do later in the game.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're down 4 or 5 runs. I think the Tigers, as good as you get in the major leagues when they have been trailing, and with that batting order, why not? Here's the 1-2 pitch. And the count 2-2 to Johnny Damon. With 1 out, Austin Jackson with a pinch hit single to start this 7th inning. John Eli giving way to Hong Chi Kuo, and there is Ramon Santiago waiting on deck for Detroit. And a fly ball to right field. Xavier Paul coming on over and makes the catch. For out number 2 as Jackson goes back to first. So that'll bring up Ramon Santiago, who has 2 of the Tigers' 8 hits today. And now batting from the right side. He has a single and a double and has scored 1 of the 2 runs. Tigers jumping off quickly, helped by a throwing error by Matt Kemp and getting 2 runs in the top of the 1st. The Dodgers tied it with a run in the 1st and 2nd, 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and they've opened up that 6-2 lead. Well, there's the Dodgers organist, Nancy B. Heffley.
Hi.
And hi, Nancy B. And you entertain the fans here. Organist since 1988, and we'll be seeing her rendition of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"
That's right.
shortly. There's nothing like organ music at a ball game.
Great year, 1988.
And the only ballpark with pure organ music and no other kind of music is Wrigley Field in Chicago. And the runner doesn't go, and a short hop off of Casey Blake, recovers, and the throw to first, not in time. Hard hit ball that Casey Blake blocked. But Johnny Damon, or I should say Ramon Santiago, is on at first, and they're going to charge Blake with an error.
Not much you can do about this one. If you don't charge in, you're going to get caught in between it. That's exactly what happened there. The worst you can do is just stay in front of it. And you can see the late reaction. I don't think he saw the ball very well, especially with those seats in that home plate and a few white shirts that really don't make it easier for the fielder.
Well, here's Maglio Ordonez with 2 outs, trying to keep it alive for the Tigers here in the 7th inning. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
All Gene Leland is hoping for is one big bang. He's right in this ballgame.
6-2, the Dodgers lead. And runners at first and second. Austin Jackson at second. Santiago on at first base with 2 away. 1-1. It's right about the Tigers in a Joe Torre knew what kind of a test this was going to be for his pitching staff coming in at the start of interleague play. We got great pitching from Chad Billingsley last night and John Eli so far today, but let's see what the bullpen does. And it's 2-1.
Also here, as we talk about the Tigers and their comeback stick, is there's where guys like Miguel Ordonez, the big sluggers, Miguel Cabrera, they let the game come. They're not going to go on and chase. So the task is even that much more difficult for the pitchers this latter part of the game. They let the game come to them.
And now, Quo falls behind 3-1 with Miguel Cabrera coming up next. So if Quo loses Ordonez, he's got Cabrera coming up with the bases loaded, where one swing of the bat would tie this game. And fouled over the Dodger dugout into the stands. And runs the count forward.
Wow. I found that ball, but nothing else.
Ordonez 1 for 3. Knocked in one of those Tiger runs in the first inning. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Runners are off, and it's high ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So here comes Miguel Cabrera with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The tying run coming to the plate. The Dodgers leading 6-2. And Cabrera with a double and a single in 3 trips. So Jackson goes to third, Santiago to second, and Ordonez is on at first base. So Cabrera, in case you're wondering, all he's done with the bases loaded this year is go 4 for 6 with 10 runs batted in. And you saw the Dodgers are on the phone. They want bullpen activity. Big swing off the off-speed pitch, and it's fouled off for strike 1.
I'm actually surprised that somebody like Ramon Belisari was not warming up already.
Another big moment in the game. Jackson started it all with the pinch hit single, and then Santiago reaching on an error. And there is Jeff Weaver warming up for the Dodgers. Quo trying to get out of big-time trouble, and a swinging bunt, and it's going to be a tough play. Quo throws to first base in time. Good play by Hong-Chi Quo. Had to hustle and throw a bullet to first as the Tigers leave the bases loaded and still trail the Dodgers 6-2.
Imagine what a buck could do. Please join Nancy B. as we all sing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Changes for the Tigers. Johnny Damon's moving from center field to left field. Santiago's moving.
And thank you very much, Nancy B. She is known here at Dodger Stadium. Nancy B. Heffley, since 1988, the Dodger organist, smile on her face, and she brings smiles to all the fans that listen to her beautiful music.
Thank you.
And changes for the Tigers as the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the seventh inning. That's Joel Zumaya, who will be the third pitcher of the day for Detroit. And they have shifted around their outfield and infield as well.
Remaining in the game at second base, number 25, Ryan Rayburn.
Ryan Rayburn will move to second base. Ramon Santiago will switch to shortstop, replacing Adam Everett. And in the outfield, Johnny Damon will go from center to left. Brennan Bosch from left to right, and Austin Jackson goes into play center. And on top of that, Garrett Anderson is pinch hitting for Quo. So Garrett Anderson is batting for Hong-Chi Quo here in the seventh inning. And the pitch is up and away. Well, Eli, what a great performance again, and the Dodgers with a 4-run lead. Congratulations. What were your thoughts on your performance today versus maybe the others?
I was pretty happy. We were able to execute when we needed to and make pitches in situations where we needed to make them. And overall, it was a pretty good day.
Now, when you walk the batter, we looked at each other, Jose Mota and I, in the first inning, because you just don't walk anyone now. Only 4 walks in over 30 innings, and that's phenomenal control.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, tell us about the welcome you've gotten from the Dodger fans, as you pretty much have shown them that you are a terrific big league pitcher.
Well, I mean, the fans have been phenomenal. It's nice to come off and see a great fan base, clapping and cheering. It's awesome. It's great. It's a great place to play.
Do you still find out how the Chicago White Sox are doing every day?
I check up on them once in a while, see how my boys are doing that I know over there.
Well, that's great. And congratulations, John. Good performance as the Dodgers have a lead, and that's all you want to do. Thanks for being with us.
That's right. Thank you.
John Eli, who stands to be the winning pitcher, as Russell Martin with the 1 out. The count, no balls and 2 strikes against Joel Zumaya, making his 17th appearance of the year. Zumaya has 26 strikeouts in 24 innings. And has never really been that healthy, has he?
No, but when he is, boy, he is one scary subject to face out there with 100+ miles an hour.
Native of Chula Vista, California. 1-2 the count.
And they have really taken him in stride. Instead of saying, here you are, you're the closer, they've taken him one step at a time, getting comfortable with his roles. Part of the great bullpen the Tigers have.
And they have been great. And Martin fouls it off. Well, for Russell Martin, who has a 15-game hitting streak, this could very well be his last chance to extend his streak to 16 games. He walked and scored a run in the first inning. and has been retired on 2 occasions since.
And I want to say that, then he's not going to want to take another day off.
No, not till maybe August 10th. Zamaya with the 1-2 pitch and the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Triple digits on that last fastball. Also, Martin can only say, well, how does it feel to catch that one?
104. And the count is full, 3-2 to Russell Martin with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Armando Galarraga started, worked 4 2/3 innings. Futeni in relief, and then Joel Zamaya coming up. 25-year-old right-hander with a full count to Martin. And a chopper to shortstop. Santiago makes the play, and Martin is retired. 2 down in the 7th. Today's game, presented by Budweiser, is sponsored by Denny's new 2468 value menu. All day, every day. By Minwax. Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful easily. And by Mobil 1, the world's leading synthetic motor oil brand.
Well, Dick, as we know, Zamaya part of a very special group of pitchers who can top out and hit 100+ miles an hour. Among them, Neftali Feliz with Texas, Ubaldo Jimenez, starter for Colorado, Daniel Bard with Boston, and Henry Rodriguez, young pitcher for the Oakland A's. Triple digits.
You know, normally, if you see 95, you're very impressed. So there you see the most pitches of 100 miles an hour or more. Feliz of Texas and Ubaldo Jimenez of the Rockies. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Xavier Paul. Fouls it out of play, and it's 1-1. Paul has 2 hits today. A bunt single and a sharp single to center field in 3 trips.
Look at the fine ball player. They're very happy with what he's done. He showed us right away in that very first inning. Part of his dimension with a beautiful bunt. Also making nice plays in right field.
You know, it takes a lot of the reserves and people called up for the minors to come in and make their contributions for a successful season for a team. And Joe Torre talking about the questions about Rafael Furcal, who, by the way, could return tomorrow, did very well today before the game, and would get back to shortstop. And someone said to Joe Torre, what about Jamie Carroll? Look how well he's played. Where's he going to be? He says he'll be sitting next to me on the bench. He says that's what makes some of the players who are reserves. They know that they're going to be in a short burst and play well. It's not the long haul for them.
And they need to play well. They have no jobs.
Breaking pitches outside, 2-2.
Jamie Carroll, talking to him before the game, I said, how do you change your routine when you're playing a lot and when you go back to your role? He goes, well, actually, when I'm playing every day, I take ground balls in one spot. When I'm not playing every day, I take ground ball everywhere.
So Carlos Guillen is going to have to do soon when he comes back as the second baseman, playing now 5 positions for Guillen, who last played second back in the 99 season.
He's a big piece of that Detroit lineup when he's healthy. That's been the issue lately for Carlos Guillen, health. Now, boy, talk about a guy that never complains, just wants to be in the lineup. Ask him to play anywhere.
And what a batting order that'll be for the Tigers when he does get back.
He's a productive bat.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the Dodgers' 7th inning, Dodgers lead at 6-2. They have out-hit the Tigers 10-8. They also have committed 2 errors, 2-1 for Detroit.
Zamaya much more under control when it comes down to his body and the flow of his mechanics. Being able to repeat his mechanics than Zamaya we saw a couple of years ago. Nice job by pitching coach Rick Knapp setting him down.
Ball 4, and Xavier Paul is on for the 3rd time today. And we'll set the stage for Manny Ramirez with 2 out and a runner at first base. So Manny, who drove in a Dodger run with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Called out on strikes and bounced into a double play with a ground ball started by the second baseman at the time, Santiago, who now is at shortstop. Manny hitting .338, but still with only 2 home runs as Amaya steps off the rubber.
Yeah, they're very thankful that now the shadows are not playing with no effect here as he's facing a guy throwing over 100 miles an hour. With the lights on, it's a little more even for the hitter.
Strike one. It's about 9:35 in the Eastern time zone. As Fox exhibiting 4 primetime games. Of course, this game out on the West Coast starting as it did at about 4:10 Pacific time.
Has more of a playoff feeling starting times here in the West. That's what the players were saying before the game.
First time in 15 years that our regular Saturday lineup, prime time. And we'll have another prime time date coming up. And that'll be June the 26th. And it'll be the Yankees at the Dodgers. They were familiar World Series opponents for many years in the 50s and the 70s. The Red Sox against the Giants and the Cubs and the White Sox. And, of course, don't forget the 81st All-Star game from Anaheim, just south of here. 2 down, Paul with the lead at first base. The count is 1-1 to Manny Ramirez. And there's a call strike.
Manny's the type of guy that's not going to change his approach much, regardless of how hard the guy on the mound is throwing, because, as we know through the years, one of the most dangerous right-handed hitters in the game. Stays within himself, Dick, as good as anybody.
And the word devastating really fits what Manny Ramirez has achieved over the years, facing Joel Zumaya here. And there goes Paul, and Manny strikes out for the second time. The Dodgers lead 1. We go to the 8th. LA in front, 6-2. Presented by Budweiser. And the Dodgers, with their third pitcher of the afternoon, Ramon Troncoso, John Eli worked 6 innings. Hong-Chi Kuo worked 1, and Troncoso aboard now, facing Brennan Bosch. And the first pitch to the plate is a ball, 1-0. Bosch is 0 for 3, but has an RBI. Grounded out to second in the first inning to knock in the second Tiger run. It was a short-lived lead for Detroit. They trail 6-2, and there is his family. This from Santa Monica. Drive hit deep to center field. Matt Kemp is back, looking up, and it's gone! Brennan Bosch, and look at the fans, and look at the family hug each other and cheer as Brennan Bosch comes home to Dodger Stadium, where he watched Brett Butler, his first memory, and a fan of Sean Green. And now he hits a home run to the deepest part of the ballpark.
There was no doubt. The minute left of bat, just the reaction from Matt Kemp tells it all. How powerful this young man is. Straight away center field.
Did you see Vivian, his mom, get up and cheer in that orange jacket? Philip, his dad, Cassidy, his sister, they are going wild. And you know what? The Tigers now trail 6-3, still nobody out, and Brandon Iggs the batter. So what a greeting to Ramon Troncoso as Brennan Bosch hits his 4th home run of the year and 20 runs batted in. He's only been up about 90 times this season.
You think about it, what a moment for the family. We used to bring him here as a kid. Can you imagine now we're watching him play baseball? Rookie year at Dodger Stadium, he hits a home run.
Well, you know, when he was 11, his mother brought him an old magazine with Ted Williams batting tips, and his father laminated the pictures, and they're still on the wall of his bedroom at his parents' home as the strike is taken by Inge. And Vivian said that Brendan was so skinny growing up that her husband thought that Ted Williams would be a good model, the splendid splinter. He put on the pounds and got the power. Pitch is in the dirt to Brandon Inge, and the count is full 3-2.
Also, his veteran teammates keep telling me what a hard worker he is. And he did not start the year with the Tigers now. He had to call, wait for his time, and boy, he is making the most out of it.
Ryan Perry and Jeff Weaver are in the respective bullpens. The pitch inside ball 4, so an inauspicious start for Troncoso coming in here in the 8th inning, the home run and a walk, and here's that home run again by Brendan Bosch. That's beautiful. And there he is with the home run. And Jim Leyland, as you look at some of the aspects of the profile, is that Jim Leyland talked to Don Zimmer recently. Of course, the great, now connected with the Tampa Bay Rays, and he said, you know, he swings like Yogi Berra. He's a free swinger. Yogi Berra was a great bad ball hitter, and he says they throw it and he swings it. Jim Leyland says, you know, I like the way he doesn't study tapes. He doesn't, micromanage his at-bats. He's a feel hitter. I hope he always is that way.
Well, McClellan was telling me before the game, we don't want him to get too technical. He's kind of a throwback. See the ball, hit the ball.
Yes.
But, here's an important point, though. When these young players come up, you have to have confidence and put them out there. And that's why Jim Leyland is such a plus to have for these young players here with the Tigers.
Rick Honeycutt went out to the mound. Gerald Laird, the hitter, fouls it off, and 1-1 the count to Laird, who has 1 hit in 3 trips. So it's 6-3, and the Tigers just don't go away. And, of course, their big opportunity was last inning when they loaded the bases trailing by 4 runs. Miguel Cabrera with a swinging bunt, and Hong-Chi Kuo with a great play off the mound, going to his right and throwing out Cabrera to end that threat. And there's a pitch missing for ball 2, 2-1. And now the leadoff home run by Brennan Bosch, and it's 6-3 with a runner at first base. Inge with the lead at first. And a chopper to short. 52. And a double play. Gerald Laird, 6-4-3. And there are 2 down. And there's the home run. There's Bosch. And there's where it was, over the center field fence, as Kemp just watch it fly. And there's the family from Santa Monica in the stand.
The swing reminds me of the follow through by Justin Morneau of the Twins.
Very good. Here's Austin Jackson, who came in and pinch hit for Adam Everett in the 7th inning. And hit a shot up the middle. It was smothered by Jamie Carroll, but Jackson was safe on the hit. So he's up for the 2nd time, remained in the game at center field. Ball strike, no balls and 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Austin Jackson has now hit safely in 21 of 22 Tiger road games.
What a nice crop of youngsters they have, huh?
Wow. Like he had 2 hits last night, more than any other Tiger. That ball bounces onto the plate. Troncoso, 27 years old, from the Dominican Republic. There you were talking about 4 wins for the Tigers when they're trailing at the start of the 8th inning. You were referring to their comeback ability. Well, they were down by 4 coming into the 8th inning.
What I noticed is the at-bats get better. They don't waste the at-bats. We saw Mogley with a big walk there in the 7th inning.
And that almost got in too tight, and Jackson able to get away from that breaking ball, probably because of the speed of it.
Exactly right. He overthrew it. Reaction from Jackson, thinking maybe a fastball, but you overthrow that breaking ball, it's going to slip right out. Not spin the right way.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jackson, with Jeff Weaver up in the Dodger bullpen. Check swing off the fist, foul ball.
You were talking about Hanley Ramirez before. That's who Jackson's little trigger with his front leg reminds me of. Nice and short. Pulls his leg back and brings those hands back.
And that one, we heard the ball hit the bat, could have hit the helmet as well, and obviously it hit him in the head. And here comes Kevin Rand, the Tiger athletic trainer, as that first pitch was scary enough, and this one managed to get Jackson in the helmet. And the way he went down, holding onto his head, scary indeed.
Well, the breaking ball came close.
92 miles an hour on that pitch.
And this fastball got him. And it's good to see him at least sitting on his own.
The home plate umpire Ted Barrett out to the mound talking to Troncoso.
Obviously there's no intent here with this pitch.
Oh, right smack of the front of that helmet.
Just to see, watching his reaction, I wonder if he saw it. Well,
let's hear it. It had the same sound as if it hit it back. And Jackson is up on his feet, gets a hand from the Dodger crowd as he goes into the dugout. So we will have a pinch runner as Austin Jackson, a scary moment for the rookie, goes into the clubhouse. And Danny Worth will pinch run for Jackson, and Joe Torre will go out to the mound. George Sherrill just got up moments ago, the left-hander. He has Jeff Weaver ready as the right-hander, and it's going to be Weaver as we'll take a break. Tigers still batting in the 8th, trailing the Dodgers 6-3. 98. Pitched 4 years for Detroit from 1999 to 2002, and now he is in as the fourth pitcher of the afternoon. Danny Worth running for Austin Jackson and Ryan Rayburn, who pinch hit last inning and stayed in the game at second base. Swings and misses on the off-speed pitch, strike one.
Rayburn one-time the ace of the Tigers staff. And I get to see his brother Jared play for the Angels, an outstanding pitcher himself.
So here's Rayburn, who was called up today for the second time. Played in 17 games the first 2 months. Hits it into the air to center field. Matt Kemp coming on over, makes the catch. And that will end it in the 8th inning. But Brennan Bosch with the leadoff home run. And the Tigers trail 6-3, bottom of the 8th. Is sponsored by Sears Blue Lawn and Garden Crew, by DirecTV for the most sports, period, and by Lexus. Unprecedented access means unprecedented values now through June the 1st. So more changes for the Tigers in the field, and they really have shuffled their lineup today, and that's what happens when you don't have the DH. We'll bring you up to date. Matt Kemp facing Joel Zamaya here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the first pitch is a strike. Ryan Rayburn will move to center field, so he'll be the third center fielder as Austin Jackson, who was hit in the head, had to leave the game. Johnny Damon remains at left, and Danny Worth comes in at second base as Rayburn moved to center field, and the count is 0-2. So we've had three second basemen for the Tigers: Santiago, Rayburn, and Worth, and two shortstops, two left fielders, three center fielders, and two right fielders.
Versatility. Oh, yes.
No balls, two strikes to Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp with a home run his last time up is 2 for 3 with a homer and a double, and has scored 2 runs. Jonathan Broxton starts to throw in the bullpen. He came in and got the save last night, and there's the strike 3, and Kemp goes down. Second strikeout for Zamaya.
First baseman number 7, James.
Well, tune in to win. Once again, today's MLB on Fox Tune In to Win bonus question is, which player did not hit 20 or more career home runs at both Dodger Stadium and Tiger Stadium? And the answer is, if you had it, C, Darrell Evans. He hit 75 homers at Tiger Stadium, but only 18 at Dodger Stadium while playing for the Braves and Giants. Kirk Gibson, Frank Howard, and Eddie Murray are the only 3 players to hit 20 or more homers at both stadiums. Stick around as we'll be announcing the winners of today's MLB on Fox Tune In to Win during the 9th inning. What a fun game it is, I think, for the viewers to play along and test their knowledge with questions that go on. And, it's you want to talk about interactive, nothing's better than that during our Fox baseball telecast.
I'll tell you what wasn't very much fun for me as a child here at this ballpark, watching Darrell Evans come up and hurt the Dodgers later in innings. He was right on top of the plate.
James Loney, the batter. Let's listen to Ernie Harwell.
Drive to right, and it is a home run for Gibson. And Tiger Stadium is going crazy. High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
Two legends describing the same play as James Loney strikes out for his second strikeout. Ernie Harwell, the late Ernie Harwell, who passed away recently, and the great Vin Scully. Right now, let's go to Chris Rose and Kevin Millar at the Fox Network Center. Close but no cigar, Chris. Thanks very much. So Dice K, after getting shelled his last time, coming that close to a no-hitter.
Seems like the ball landed almost behind Scudero, didn't it? Oh, okay. Right
from that angle, yes. Here's Casey Blake, who has a home run. In fact, the perfect afternoon, a home run and 2 singles. With 2 out, as Zamaya has struck out 3 batters. There's Broxton in a save opportunity at this point. 2 down, 1-1 pitch, and the comebacker to Zamaya. And Zamaya does well in his short relief stint. But the Tigers come up for their last chance, trailing 6-3. 9th inning, and Jonathan Broxton, who struck out the side last night for his 9th save of the year, making his 19th appearance. He has 9 saves in 11 opportunities and a 1.02 earned run average facing Johnny Damon.
He's bringing the heat.
Ball 1 to Damon, who is 0 for 4. Has hit the ball in the air 3 times. So it'll be Damon, Santiago, in the pitcher spot. 3rd for the Tigers here in the ninth. 1-1.
That's a very quiet young man with quiet demeanor, but very fiery inside and learning more and more about the role and bouncing back, especially as a closer, and leaving those tough outings behind.
Breaking ball and a base hit to right field. So Johnny Damon, after being retired 4 times, gets a base hit to start the 9th inning for the Tigers. And once again, you mentioned it, this is a team that keeps on coming. They loaded the bases in the 7th inning. Got the leadoff home run by Brennan Bosch in the 8th, trailing by 3 runs as Santiago comes up. The switch hitter has 2 hits and has also reached on an error.
Well, they really reflect the personality of their manager. Tough all the way.
Strike 1 to Santiago. Jonathan Broxton has averaged over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched over the last 4 seasons. Looking to chalk up his 10th save of the year. 1-1. Well, congratulations to Mike Humes, Kylie Burton, and Robert Dumont for winning today's MLB on Fox Tune In to win. Visit foxsports.com/tunein to see your results. If you missed this week's game, make sure to play next week. Runner at first, nobody out. The 1-1 pitch, sliced foul, out of play.
We're talking about Zumaya and his triple digits fastball, but for Broxton, you had the mid-90s, upper 90s fastball with his size, okay? He's right on you. And then the deception he creates. So the deception is not only attached to guys that are crafty on the mound, but watch how late his hand comes out of his glove. And it's tough to pick up for the hitters, righties or lefties.
Be tough anytime, because now we have the full shadow here as it is 7 o'clock Pacific time.
Watch his hand come out, how late it comes out.
And a base hit to the opposite field by Santiago, and runners at first and second with nobody out, and the Tigers staging a last-ditch rally. Damon goes to second, Santiago with his 3rd hit of the game, and Alex Avila, you may call him Avila, and I would understand that, will be coming up to pinch hit for Zumaya, the pitcher. And this crowd silent here as the Tigers hanging in there.
Young Alex Avila, who has been struggling just to get going, making some Dodgers fans a little suspicious here.
Backup catcher, his father Al is the assistant general manager of the Detroit Ball Club. And ball 1 outside. Broxton looks like he's nibbling a little bit since he's come in the game.
Right. He doesn't seem as aggressive with his fastball driving downhill to finish it off well. We haven't seen him register the mid to upper 90s yet.
1-0 the count. And guess who's up on deck? Miguel Cabrera. And there's a call strike. Good pitch right at the knees. 1-1 the count. There is Cabrera on deck. And Brennan Bosch looming.
Bosch family waiting.
1 ball and 1 strike. 2 on, nobody out. And on the outside corner, good tailing fastball by Broxton. And he's ahead of Avila, the pinch hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tying run at the plate. Two home runs and 2 RBIs, and Avila strikes out for out number 1. But coming up is Miguel Cabrera, and he represents a certainly more home run type batter as the tying run at the plate. Has 2 hits and 4 trips, including a double, as Russell Martin goes out to talk to Broxton.
If you had asked Jim Leland, if you're trailing in the 9th inning and you can get some runners aboard, take one hitter. Here's the scenario. It's Miguel Cabrera with 2 guys aboard.
And Rick Honeycutt, Dodger pitching coach, going to the mound. Tonight on Fox, late local news, followed by the Wanda Sykes Show, and then Brothers. That's tonight on Fox. Check your local listings. Except on the West Coast, where they will be seen at their normally scheduled times.
Visit that has more to do, Dick, with plan and staying with it on things that were discussed before this series as to how the Dodgers and Broxton approach Cabrera in this type of situation. We shall see.
Cabrera is 1 for 3 in his career against Broxton. 6-3, the Dodgers lead. 1 out, 2 runners on. Tying run at the plate. Cabrera with 9 home runs this year. And a ground ball gloved beautifully by Blake, and gets the force at second for out number 2. So Casey Blake not only saves a base hit, he gets out number 2. And that is the defensive play of the game.
Outstanding play by Blake. Kills him, rally immediately. And also very alert play by the second baseman, Blake DeWitt, making sure he stretches out like a first baseman. Look at this effort.
So that is 2 out, and Damon is at third and Cabrera on at first. And if the drama, you think the drama ends here? It doesn't. Brennan Bosch, who homered to lead off the 8th inning to make it 6-3. 1 swing of the bat to tie the game here. What do you think his family is hoping for? 2 down, 2 on, 9th inning. And there's a line drive to right field. It's a base hit into the crowd for a double. And Bosch delivers again. A run scores. It's 6-4. And the tying run is on at second base. Going to third is to Miguel Cabrera. So Brennan Bosch with a line shot on 1 hop into the lower stands.
His family, his teammates, his manager learning more and more about the big moment not affecting this young man at all. A higher wall in right field in this game would have been closer.
And there they are. Boy, they've had a lot to cheer about the last couple of innings after Bosch was retired his first 3 times with a booming home run over the center field fence and now a double. Here's Brandon Inge. With 2 out, the tying run is at second. Runners at second and third, and ball 1 to Inge. Inge has walked twice today and has been retired twice. And there you see how they're playing it. With Cabrera on at third and Bosch at second. Dodgers lead now is 6-4. Broxton trying to close it down for the Dodgers. And a foul back. And 1-1 to count to the veteran third baseman for the Tigers. It all started with a single to the opposite field, or to right field by Johnny Damon. Santiago singled to left. Pinch hitter Al Avila struck out. Miguel Cabrera hit into a force out, and Brendan Bosch with a ground rule double into the stands and right. Check swing, and they appealed, and Tony Randazzo, the first base umpire, said that Inge did not go around. The crowd doesn't agree.
Martin setting up for the breaking ball. Hits that target outside.
Two and 1, 2 out. Runners at second and third, 6-4. Big fastball just Threw it by Brandon Idge. And the count is 2-2. And now this crowd is on its feet.
That's called reaching back. 97.
The game is over. Call third strike. And Jonathan Broxton gets Brandon Inge. And the Tigers leave the tying runs in scoring position. And the Dodgers beat the Tigers 6-4. And here is today's Lexus Hybrids game-changing player. And it's John Eli, who went 6 innings as the starter.
Struggled early but settled down. Did a different look he gave them early against those Tigers. Very dangerous. And the Tigers again make it very interesting at the very end.
So the Dodgers take the second game of this 3-game series. 2 in a row for the Dodgers, who have now won 12 out of 13. Dodgers beat the Tigers 6-4. And after the break, we'll send it over to Chris Rose in our Fox Network Center. So long, everyone.